Hello, everybody, and welcome to your Empath Narcissist Relationship Healing Tarot reading. I know that nobody likes intros, but I do need to give you guys a bit of explanation about this reading and how it works. And those of you who like to cross-watch for your rising or moon sign, I will put a timestamp in the description box below so that you can skip this intro as you cross-watch. However, I just want to say that this reading is coming from the point of view and perspective of the empath. So if you are trying to go to the sign of your narcissist, this reading isn't going to work like that for cross-watching. This is coming 100% from the perspective of the empath, and every single sign has experienced an empath narcissistic relationship. There's empaths in every sign and there's narcissists in every sign, okay? So for cross-watching, I only recommend your moon or your rising sign to gain further information, as this is coming from the empath's point of view. So in saying that, empath narcissist, there are some empath intuitives out there that do have a way of just attracting to narcissistic type of personalities. So this reading can definitely cover that. But when I say empath, I'm really coming from the perspective of the individual in the relationship that is very emotionally open, connected, empathetic, sensitive, compassionate to the narcissist, and the narcissist is cold, distant, lies, confuses, makes you question your own reality, makes you question if you're crazy, etc. Okay, so the empath is the person who is emotionally open and balanced. Now, because there are actually clinical signs of what a narcissist is, I have listed several links in the description box below about narcissism, how to spot it, the different types, and then just a really good discussion about it, from a therapist's point of view, as she is very, well versed in speaking on that subject, coming from it, a mental or emotional place of being. Okay, so I highly recommend that you copy and paste the links that I've left for those videos and, save them somewhere on your computer or your phone so that you can watch them. I've also listed a few meditations and subliminals to help those of you who are in the process of healing and moving on from a narcissistic relationship, okay? And lastly, I just want to say that this reading could be for any type of narcissistic relationship, whether it be friends, a family member, or a romantic partner. Oftentimes, as children, if we are abused, neglected, that opens us to those narcissistic type of personalities, because oftentimes children who are abused and neglected have this need for approval and love later in life, and many of us just go through life and we don't heal our wounds. We don't know how. Nobody teaches us that. We just do the best we can. So this reading can really help you with any sort of narcissistic relationship you've experienced in your life, as this reading is coming from a spiritual perspective and looking at how this relationship applies to your life journey for this particular lifetime, okay? As far as actual clinical from a therapist, looking at and understanding narcissism from that direction, please watch the links that I have listed below for you guys. They're excellent. She is amazing. And from the links I've left, there's even more information to help those of you who are really in the struggle, trying to move past the trauma and the abuse of narcissism that you've experienced in your life, whether just in childhood or childhood all through adulthood. It's different for everybody. So with that said, I will start the readings. And again, I just want to emphasize only cross-watch for your rising or your moon sign, as this reading is coming from the empath's perspective, not the perspective of the narcissist, okay? Hi, Sagittarius, and welcome to your empath narcissist healing relationship reading. I am going to start with a card looking at what spiritual lesson this relationship is connected to. And again, as stated in the intro of this video, this is coming at the relationship from a spiritual perspective. If you want, you know, a perspective from a therapist, I've left links, okay? I just don't want to confuse that. And people say, you can't. I'm not speaking from psychology or emotional. I'm coming from spiritual, you know, talking to spirit, talking to the angels to bring you guys healing and understanding through the tarot, okay? So, Sagittarius, let's see what this relationship initially was trying to help you with at a spiritual level. Oh, wow, look at that. Solar eclipse, revolution, and this is card 44, master number. So, Sagittarius, I know based on this coming out, this relationship was incredibly challenging, okay? I get that 100%. However, with the solar eclipse, this is where, you know, one chapter of your life ends and another chapter of your life begins like that. So this is, to me, where you have a complete shift in consciousness entirely about something. It could be very spiritual, like this is the relationship that cracked you open deep enough to facilitate and spark the spiritual awakening for some of you, okay? And for others of you, this relationship, the challenges that it created, you know, was really trying to pull you out of it, like an old paradigm, really shift your consciousness about something. I was about to call you Aquarius, something about your consciousness, Sagittarius. And so, you know, if your narcissistic relationship involves an Aquarius, big time highlighted message that this reading is very strong for you, okay? So I'm going to pull a couple of cards here to gain more insight about this solar eclipse. Oh, look at that. Yeah, the vision quest, 100% Sag, right there. It's to completely shift your perception somehow, some way, big time. But it's like for the good. When you heal and overcome and you are able to fully expand into your consciousness of this whole journey, oh my gosh, Sagittarius, like you just don't even know how amazing you will be. And look at this, oh my goodness, the Holy Mountain. Okay, so these two cards go hand in hand, and look at, you see this big sun behind her, could be the moon, you know, big sun here, and look at moon right there, solar eclipse. So that's emphasized over here on this side, Sagittarius. And what I see is, you know, after you go through this particular relationship with this narcissist, or multiple relationships where you dealt with a narcissistic personality, this seriously is leading you into a completely different version of yourself. Here on the mountain, you see the big sun, and the person is sitting there in meditation. And what I see is then we transform into this dancing goddess here, all right, touching the sun. So Vision Quest and Holy Mountain go hand in hand, Sagittarius. This is so spiritual and deep. This relationship, or the multitude of relationships you've experienced, really like cracking you open. There's a whole entire brand new version of you that is just wow, so spiritual, so wise, so strong. And, you know, it's like the solar eclipse here. The pain is there, the pain is there. And then one day, in one moment, just as, you know, strongly as it was there, boom, it's gone. You've shifted. The kaleidoscope has turned and you're in a different place. You're in a different dimension. You're in a different vibration of being, of understanding, and of consciousness. All right. I can say this. There are definitely different levels of consciousness along my journey. And we'll say over the course of 8 years, there are things I read and watched 8 years ago, and now I reread them, rewatch them now, and the understanding of what's being said and expressed, I just get a whole different meaning. And it wasn't that I was, you know, less smart back then. It's just, you know, we are all on our journey, and as we move through our challenges and work on ourselves, work on our healing, and knowing and believing nothing is going to beat me, I will prevail over all, okay? No challenge is going to take my life from me. You just, like, you know, the phoenix rising from the ashes, Sagittarius, like, just wow for you guys. You know, as you move along your personal life path, I'm telling you, what you've been through is not for nothing. It's deeply spiritual to crack you open. There's another version of you that is definitely wanting to come out in this life, and it's a much more spiritually based version of yourself. It's a whole different way. Yeah, look at that. We have complicated that flew out. This is card 11, and that's under the vision quest. And over here under Holy Mountain, we have focus. So Sagittarius, listen, don't focus on, you know, this, oh wow, beautiful. Next card out would be strength. Don't focus on, you know, this is so hard. I'm never going to get through this. You know, why did this happen to me? I gave my all. I did everything. The truth is, Sagittarius, when it comes to a narcissist, there is not enough things you can do. Nobody can please a narcissist because they're not pleased inside with themselves. They have their own issues, their own hang-ups, which, you know, causes them to act the way that they do. And again, that's mentioned a great deal in the links that I've listed below. So Sagittarius, let's pull some more cards here, some tarot to add to this. All right, we have the Hermit. Yeah, so Sagittarius, listen to me. The Hermit goes up to the mountaintop, right, to seek illumination and enlightenment, to understand, to expand consciousness, to look at things from a spiritual vantage point rather than the human experience of it, okay? And right now, just depending on where each and every one of you are at on your healing journey from, you know, this narcissist relationship, it could take time, okay? Some of you, I feel, are really coming into that enlightenment, and others of you, you're just starting this journey, okay? And with the Hermit, that's also speaking to the fact that, you know, you may walk a bit of your journey alone, and it's not out of punishment. It's not because you don't deserve love. It's not because you don't deserve support. It's just that, you know, when we need to heal and heal all the way deep down to our core, that's an inside job, and there can't be any distractions outside of you other than what you need to do to survive. You know, go to your job, do your job, pay your bills, feed your kids, feed your animals, you know, keep up with text messages, etc. But there's an element where you've got to be in total solitude so you can hear what your soul is telling you, what your spirit is telling you. And it's saying, You are stronger than this. And honestly, opposed to this being about, you know, shooting your arrow, I really feel this is speaking more to you as the centaur, okay? And this is the closest image and depiction of that could come out in this particular deck, you know, bow and arrow. It's like you need to know, Sagittarius, you can overcome anything. Like, you guys are so strong and wise, and there is another version of yourself. And allow the quietness, allow yourself to walk the journey, and just say, all right, universe, show me. What is it that I need to understand? What area do I need to heal? Show me this from another perspective. Help me grow. Help me expand. All right, because that's where you're at. Hermit with Vision Quest and Holy Mountain. Yeah, that's where your healing is found, is with the angels, as well as going within and looking inside of you, Sagittarius. And look at what's next. We have the Fool. Okay, blessed by the shooting star up there. Where you have been, or where you're headed, is better than where you've been. And look, he is also up on a mountaintop, right? So here you are, being the hermit, you know, gaining your wisdom, doing your healing, all those things required. And now, boom, you are beautiful. Here's that new version of you, Sagittarius. Look at that. Beautiful new version of you, and look at what follows that. It's like if whatever was taken from you, whatever was stolen, the way you were betrayed, you know, if everything was just ripped from you, Sagittarius, it's all going to be returned to you in a different form. There is nothing that has been taken or stolen from you that is not going to return. Okay, this is victory. This is being recognized. This is feeling good. This is success. This is overcoming. So yeah, after we are done sitting with the spirits on the mountaintop, Sagittarius, this is the next step. This is that solar eclipse where this is the next version, okay? And we have the Two of Swords. So what this is telling me, not only are you learning about boundaries and how to properly assert yourself and recognize, you know, unfavorable traits in others, and opposed to trying to overlook them, you are learning what signs you need to really pay attention to and recognize, you know, there are some things that we can, you know, work on and change in a relationship, and there's some things that, you know, aren't going to happen, aren't going to be changed while we are together. And like, you're recognizing the difference in that, because, you know, some people say all you need to do is love. I agree to that, you know, to some degree. However, I recognize that sometimes love isn't enough. It just isn't, if only one person is offering it, right? So keep that in mind. But Sagittarius, listen, some of you with this Two of Swords, you're blocking yourself from the movement forward. You don't want to be on the mountaintop. You are kind of still stuck in that, why did this have to happen to me? Why did this have to work out like this? I don't understand what I did wrong. You know, I was a good partner. I was a good person. I didn't deserve this. This is bad karma that I never ever, you know, gave to anybody else. Why is it coming back to me? Listen, Sagittarius, it's not about karma. This is all about soul evolution for you. And, you know, this is a general reading, so it's a varying degree for each of you how much you awaken, you know, for your particular journey. Some of you, this is cracking you wide open, and you are going to be somebody completely different, as I keep stating. For others of you, this is just more subtle inside of you, where you are learning to depend on yourself, to count on yourself, to have your own back, and know that as long as you have your back and you love yourself and you respect and honor yourself, it doesn't matter what comes your way, you will be okay and you will prevail, okay? So as Sagittarius, let's take a look at some advice to help you heal. What is the path to healing for Sagittarius? All right. No, I love that that's the card that came out. It just blends so beautifully with this reading, Sagittarius. The angels are all around you. Transition and initiation. Yep, here it is, where we are shifting into a completely different version of ourselves, a completely different perspective of life, seeing things, paradigm shift, okay? Others of you, this is more spiritual, where after you are cracked open and you spend enough time on the mountaintop with the spirits, you realize, oh my gosh, my journey, the rest of my journey here is no longer about so much the human experience. It's time for a spiritual experience, okay? That's not all of you, but some of you, that is definitely the case, all right? So know that this is, as much as it hurts, as you move through, as you heal, you're going to realize how strong and wise you are, and you are going to just transform. Like I said, twisting in the kaleidoscope. Oh, yes, yes. Hidden gift. We got the rainbow. The gift, the pot of gold comes after the rain, right? The rainbow comes, pot of gold. This is like that Six of Wands card all day, right there. Reiteration that it's going to be okay. You know, all is well. And look at the rainbow's actually touching the mountaintop. And that's where you need to be right now, Sagittarius. You're going to be blessed. You'll get through this. And sexual energy. Okay. Some of you, okay, I'm getting a couple different messages with this here. So I'm going to start with the less sensitive one, which is where I feel that some of you, it's hard to disconnect from the narcissist because the sexual connection that you have and the way you feel soul connected through that energy is very, very hard to break, okay? It's very intoxicating, it's very alluring, and it goes so much deeper than just the physical act itself. Yes, this means we get it on, we get down, and it's good, but it's much deeper than that. It's that soul connection in the act where you feel that, and there's no other in the world, right? I totally get some of you have, that's what has connected you and kept you connected to this narcissist. Listen, break this energy, call upon Archangel Michael, okay? Because it's showing up in your lineup here tells me that you will have a very powerful connection like that with somebody else, okay? But it's going to be a much healthier type of connection. Now, for others of you, this states the obvious, where we've been violated in this area by the narcissist, okay? And with that said, you know, make sure you get the counseling that you need for going through a trauma like that. You know, that is nothing anybody should face alone. It is nothing to be ashamed of. It's something that happened and it needs healing. And, you know, if you've kept it bottled up and you don't talk about it, you know, I don't even recommend talking about it to friends or family. You know, I say go to a professional. And a lot of people are bah humbug about therapists, but I will tell you this. My youngest daughter was going through a lot of issues, and I wasn't a fan of therapy either. And I took her to this guy, this younger guy, and he did wonders with her, okay? Just if you need something like that to help you heal, to help you move beyond that sort of trauma, ask the angels, say, angels, please align me to the right, you know, therapist for me that can truly help me move beyond this. And I would also recommend, you know, getting energy healing with a master Reikiist, because, you know, there's a lot going on there. So don't neglect your trauma. Heal it. Reach out for help, okay? There's so many free resources out there to help those who have been violated and traumatized and abused so that they do not have to face it alone, okay? And I'm just going to leave it with that for, you know, that type of energy, because that doesn't apply to everybody, obviously, but for those of you who does, you don't need to suffer that alone, all right? I will share with you personally, when I look back on my relationship with my narcissistic ex, I think to myself, if I wasn't a full-grown consenting woman, you know, I don't know that that would have been okay and acceptable, some of the things that happened, but even if you're a full-grown consenting person, I think you know what I'm talking about. So just, you know, reach out. Do not suffer that alone, all right? So let's see, Sagittarius, where you transition into the outcome here, the wisdom gained and earned and learned at your disposal for the rest of this life and every other incarnation you have thereafter. Oh, yeah, look at that. Spiritual service. So, Sagittarius, I know this. Either this is to break you open, as I've already said, spiritually, that initiation to start walking a spiritually based path for the rest of your journey here, okay? And for others of you where that's not the case, I do know that this experience, this relationship is in preparation to your soul for a incarnation to come where you are going to be in spiritual service to humanity, okay? And others of you that have been feeling that call, feeling that awakening, or you've already been awoken all your life and you're like, why the heck am I aligning to all these narcissistic personalities? Sagittarius, you know, it's because you have a spiritual service, and through these experiences you are learning how to discern and how to create boundary and how to protect your energy, okay? And, you know, I would not say that your spiritual service to humanity ends this life. Definitely see you continuing that on in your next incarnation, for sure. It's like a beautiful heart of gold living inside of you, Sagittarius. So let's see, after we are through the healing process and fully expanded spiritually and consciously, who do we transition into? Who do we become? We become the river queen, flow, letting go, natural movement, beautiful. Those of you with walking the spiritual journey the rest of your life, this is your intuition, your empath ability, your psychic ability, your mediumship, whatever your spiritual gift is, really kind of taking off and expanding in big ways, okay? For others of you, this is ultimate 100% emotional healing. You know, deep down into your core, why you are up here on the mountaintop with the spirit, Sagittarius, okay? This is beautiful. It is not for nothing. Everything you have been through is not for nothing. It's time to heal. It's time to understand. It's time to find clarity. And, you know, if you need more help and support than what you're doing right now, please reach out to the resources that are available to people who are really suffering, okay? Don't go through this alone. You can heal, and once you get on the other side of this, you are somebody brand new entirely, okay? So those are your messages, Sagittarius. I am sending you all lots of love, light, and prayers. Take care.